Hey everybody, welcome back. Sorry you have to look at my back. For some reason my remote doesn't like to work. I think the battery might be dying in it, so I had to push the button manually and come over here. Okay, scenery summer still continues. I still have to get a bunch of vegetation and trees and stuff in here. I haven't done any scenery work really since that last video, the one before the last one. So it's high time to get on it. First of all, I'm going to work on this area, maybe a foot wide, straight back, get the ridge line done, vegetation, ground cover. In here will be mostly a paved area for parking and also for trucks to back into here where this loading ramp thing will be. Actually, it'll be, yeah, I guess it'll be that way. I don't know. No, it'll be this way. The truck backs up. Yeah, that's it. I know what I'm talking about. Alright, so let's get that there. I gotta move this train out of the way. So, okay, buddy. Get out of here. Keep on going. That way. Good, good, good. Alright. I don't slop anything on it because you guys know I can be a mess. Alright. That's out of the way. This needs painted. Deal with that at some point. Alright, for the base, there's many different ways you could use it, but you have to have a flat surface, of course, to create a paved road. A lot of people sometimes for a pavement they'll use, I don't know, there's that Smooth It stuff from Woodland Scenics. I've seen that. It gets good results. You can just build straight up from your plywood base if you'd like. I find that kind of stuff using plaster and Sculptamold and like spackling and things like that just makes a mess, and I'm messy. So, and it uses a lot of material, and it's, I don't know, it's a little easier just to already have a flat surface on there that all you need to do is paint it. So, I think what I'll do, I'm going to have to find a pattern or make a pattern for the pavement parts. So what I'll do, I'll probably move this, get a piece of paper down in here, trace like along here, along the edge of the road, along the track, along there. Kind of make a template that'll go over top of a piece of foam sheeting. I'll cut it out with scissors, make sure it fits, and glue it down. So, and that'll be the base. Just like I did with the road. If you go back a couple videos when I was doing the road here, it's the same stuff. 1/8 inch foam sheet you can get for $1 or $2, $3 maybe, $2.50 at Michael's, Hobby Lobby. They have it. Walmart might even have it. I'm not sure. I try not to go into Walmart unless I have to. But anyhow, let's get that done and get this figured out where the pavement part is, and you guys can kind of follow along. See how this whole little C-net transitions from where it is now to something a lot cooler. Alright guys, I shall be back in a flash. Okay, so I'll have to make several sections for the pavement part. One thing I shouldn't have done was put this bumper on here. It kind of makes it annoying, but we're going to deal with it. This is the foam sheet. Flexible, bendable, very cool. So what I'm going to do is put it about right there with a pencil. I'm going to mark where the edge of the track road bed is. And then I'm also going to go around the edge of the road, the street here. I think I just knocked my track bumper off. Alright, so let's just go down there. to the edge of that road bed. Let it alone. So what I'll do, I don't know if you can see that too well. So I have this and I have this. Just gonna freehand this part. I was gonna do it with paper, but I figured I could just do it with this instead of using paper. So yeah, I got my cut lines right there. So this part here, and this might have to be trimmed a little bit for in the back there by the rocks, but let me see how it looks like once I cut it. Okay, it's cut and placed on. You probably can't see it too well. It's not quite perfect. I don't feel like cutting another one because where it isn't, I can fix. So let me kind of take you over here. If you look right there, there's a gap. Somehow that got a little off. Who knows why? Maybe I'm just off today. I don't know. It runs along here. Building will sit about there. So I have to trim this part off. We'll round that, just round that off here. I'll square this up. Not worry about that. I can fill that in with spackling or something and then smooth it out and it'll just be fine. So then we'll still have to cut a piece to go in here. And go from there. All right. Okie dokie. Hold on. Okay, here's all the pieces. Oh, they moved a little bit on me. So we'll get them pushed into place. I'm going to get these glued down with probably a combination of hot glue and from a hot glue gun and white glue, just regular tacky glue. And we'll see how this works out. And then once it's all adhered, I'm going to have to go in and fill out these cracks. And then push that over there where that goes. But fill in these little cracks here with some spackling, and that'll be that. So this will sit there. That will be there. All right, so let me get this glued on here. And we'll be back in a jiffy. Here we are, glued down, all glued down. Here, a little bit. Gap, I have to fill that in, spackling, back there, and up here against the road. Yeah, it is what it is. I ain't perfect. Ain't never claimed to be. Anyway, so let's make sure the clearance works fine. And like I did see, the glue came loose after I knocked my my track bumper. Silly me for even putting it on there to begin with, but whatever. I'll just re-glue it. All right, yeah, that's nice. Nice rolls very nicely through there. It's good. Let's let this dry. Just gonna let's set this stuff back for the moment. Something like that. And just let that go and dry. Let's get some vegetation here. And you can just hang tight. The very first coat is on there. I'll probably got to do in a second coat. And then we'll follow it up with coats of other stuff to darken it up and age it. So, while that dries for a little while, I'm going to get some more Sculpta mold to fill in the ground back here and along here. I thought maybe this could be a parking area. No, it probably couldn't be. With that there, couldn't be a parking area, but it could be a gravel area where like a forklift could cross here and use this to get up on here. Make sense? Coming around from the back of that building. So these are Blair line, I think, crossings. I have a bunch of these. I haven't really figured out how I wanted to use them. So that could be one. I'll just fill in the ballast and stuff here. Make this gravel in here. And gravel in here and here. Gotta get the ballast done there. here, these 3 tracks coming down this way. The road's gonna have to come off here, so to get down that way. So I was debating whether to put the road closer up to the tracks or down closer to the edge, and I think I'll put it closer to the edge. So, excuse me, that'll wind its way up and around that way to get over to this area. But that's further on down the road, so let's worry about this for the moment. And get some sculpt mold going here and another coat of cocoon paint on here. Oh, so here these things are, these wood grade crossings. These are, of course, wider ones for like a 2-lane road. They're really nice. They have good detail. They're wooden. You just have to glue them in and stain them, or stain them and glue them, whichever way you want to do it. Put some tire marks and dirt and stuff like that on them. I've never used them on a layout before, so they're kind of new to me. One thing I found out that they are that thick, and it's just a little too high for me if you put it directly on top of the ties. There's a danger if you don't have your trip pins on rolling stock bent or snipped, that they can catch on it and derail your entire train. So that's a possibility. And then I found out if you take the ties out and lay them down in there, it sits a little bit too low. So I don't know. What I did with that one over there, I was just showing you, I sanded it some on the bottom. I made it fit. I took a little bit off. I wasn't going to sit there all day, but I made it work, I think. And then I checked as I derail my own train. Come on here, buddy. All right, so I checked the clearance here, and it seems fine. So we're all good to go. Get them glued on. Decided to put some plaster cloth right in here, just so I have a nice smooth surface, and I don't have this wood here to put gravel and stuff in. So on top of that, I think it'll look cool. I got to get it wet and stuck on there. Here I cut another piece of roadway. Hot glued it down there. I'm only going to go up this far with this scenery project. Well, scenery video anyhow. So I went ahead and got sculpt mold, and I ran out, so that's why that's there. Plus, I might want to put a small structure in there. A very small one. Could be something like that. Or that could sit like that. But something along that size. Whether that's that one or not, I don't know. So that's kind of cool. So I'm not really going to put any more sculpt mold in here until I figure out what kind of structure I do want in there. But I got sculpt mold in between the rails. It's all wet and stuff now. I'm going to smooth it out here a little bit better. And a little bit around the back. Blend the ground in back in here and here. So that's about dry. Yeah, you're going to always see, using that paint, you're always going to see that black come up through it. And that's fine. So it's going to help darken it. And once I get some stains on here, you'll never know. It'll look like that. Only I might darken it up a little more, as I said. Okay, back to work. So from the drone view, I'm going ahead and getting some brown paint on this white sculpt mold stuff. Get that all painted up, and then the next step, I'm going to ballast these few tracks right in here. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to give the concrete pad a shot of some stain, darken it up. So let me get after this little bit. So let me get this ballast on here. Not the greatest, most fun project ever. That's why I do it in small sections, so it doesn't drive me nuts. If you want a little more detailed explanation of how I do it, you can go back to a video I did early on. I think it's called, "Why is there a fly in here? Go away!" Oh my Lord. What's it called? Ballasting 101, I think. How I do it, or something to that effect. It's easy to find. I don't have a billion videos. Scoop some on in the middle, then just give it a brush down with this foam brush. Foam brushes you can get, you can buy like whole bags of them pretty cheap from Michael's or Hobby Lobby, Wally World. Lots of places have them. So I just use the foam brush to brush it on down. Get it off the tops of the ties as much as I can. If there's a granule or two left behind, who cares? You see it on the prototype. Alright, get down in there. You can use your finger to help smooth it out some a little bit. Give it a little bump and a tap sometimes. Alright, and then for the edges, sides, I mean, just go like this. Something like to this effect. Again, this is the fine scale ballast. Commonly, I guess, called N scale ballast. I don't know if it's really N scale or not, because this is Woodland Scenic, so their HO scale, the medium ballast, is certainly not HO scale. One little granule is as big as a dude's head, and I proved it on that video. So, whoops, that's all right. Try not to be too clumsy. Get it in there, all right. Push that down. Draw it back out. Uncover the top of the tie ends. That's a little, you know, need a more in there. So like here where it's real steep drop off, here it's not because I built the ground up closer to track level on purpose. All right. Just a bit in here. All right, what I do is take my meat of my thumb, kind of roll it, push it into place. You gotta do a little touch up here and there. Then we'll be ready to spray it down and glue it. So, all right, well, I guess you don't have to sit here and watch me do this like a maniac for a little while. But yeah, if I had to do tons of ballast all at once, I would go nuts. You'd see me in a straitjacket. Some kind of idiot. It is a little mind numbing. That's why I only do it a little bit at a time. Working this down, working it down. All right. That's good for that. So let me do in here and there and back here, and I'll be back with you. So from the drone view, I'm going ahead and getting some brown paint on this white Sculpta mold stuff. Get that all painted up, and then the next step, I'm going to ballast these few tracks right in here. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to give the concrete pad a shot of some stain, darken it up. So let me get after this little bit. All right, got some ballasting, ballasting done, and some ground cover here and there. What's next? I did put one coat of a light India ink wash over top of this. So I got to get my little vacuum out. Of course, I get clumsy and there's little bits of ballast strewn here and there and everywhere. So get my little handheld vacuum out and suck that stuff up. And I'm going to put on a darker coat, which is right here. One thing I found that's cool when you're doing concrete pads and weathering them with India ink over top of acrylic chalk paint is if you don't spread it all out evenly and let some pull up a little bit, some little pools, and let it dry, and it adds a lot of a cool staining effect. I can't really show you over here because I could probably show you next time I'm over in Warren Valley next door. I have a concrete pad that did that, and it looks pretty awesome. So let me stain this up. This stuff is still not sprayed or glued. It's been a busy weekend for me, and I haven't done much down here. So I'm just doing this like day by day. And apologize for the last clip, because when I reviewed it, I saw that there was some blurring in and out and not being focused. And of course, my melon got in the way a little bit. So I figured, well, I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to redo that whole thing. And it is what it is. So apologies. Sorry about that. The phone camera was just sitting there zinging in and out of focus at certain points. So, yeah, wells. All right, what else do we got to do here? All right, so we're going to put a coat on that, on the pad. We're going to get this glued down. I forgot about this. I don't want to be spraying water anywhere near it yet because it's wet. Almost forgot about this. This is wood, and water spraying on it could cause problems. So we still have to put this crossing tower in here, probably somewhere like that, and do the ground around it and a place to park. So I got to get dirt and sand and stuff in here yet. So we'll also do that. And check this out. I'm going to put my brush. And there's my finger in this lens now. Jeez. Boy, I'm a mess. I'm trying to show you what I'm talking about. I'll start here in the corner, put some of this darker stain on. I'm not going to spread it all out everywhere. See, it dries lighter as it dries. But if I just leave pools kind of like that, I'll show you what it looks like after it dries up. It's still not dry yet, but it's you can see what it's starting to do. See how it's putting a nice little stain right in there, and here and there and everywhere. So once it dries, it'll look a little better, but you can at least see what it's starting to do there. Oh, I still got to hit the middle between the tracks. All right, I got everything else wetted down with wet water. Wet water. Water and dish soap, liquid dish soap. And give the ballast and the ground cover a shot of diluted Elmer's. This is about 70-30 probably. 70 water, 30 Elmer's. So let me get on this, and we'll see what we got to do from there. Oh, I had stain, gave one coat of stain over top of the little crossing, wood crossing there. I'm going to go back and dirty that up. I still got to fix that I broke, my bumper. So these little bits and things here, let me get on them. Well, it's the next day. Went over everything with a vacuum, and in the process, completely messed up my ballast right there. Evidently, I missed it with the glue, that little section, so the nozzle on my vacuum disturbed it. So I'm going to have to kind of put that back together and get it re-glued. The pad dried. It's all nice. You can see how it's stained up, like I was telling you. And it looks pretty cool, I think. So hang on one second. Let me get resituated, and we'll get to the part where we wrap this up. All right, here's everything for this video. that's going to be done for this video. So I got some of the ground cover up on the ridge there. I still got a lot of vegetation to put there above the rocks. I got to get some more vegetation in there and in there. A little bit more in between the tracks here, a little bit. I just set the ramp there for now. Still got to take that outside and give it some primer and get that painted. It appears to be concrete, but that it doesn't look like wood. So I'm assuming it's some kind of complete solid concrete. Here's another look at it. Solid concrete ramp. So I think that's what it's going to be. Anyway, to fix the my track bumper that I clumsily knocked off of there. I just set the building there. None of my buildings get glued. If you don't know that by now from me. That way I can drill a hole and put lights in it if I want. Lighting is a long way off. Don't worry about that. Many, many moons from now. Alright, so we have a place that you can park at, truck can park, etc. Employee cars. I need some people. I'm almost out of working type people. I have plenty of ladies walking around in sundresses. That ain't gonna work in that scene. Need some vehicles. So over here, I re-glued that. That's still wet. We did the ballast from also being clumsy. I'll give it till tomorrow, and then I'll go ahead and take these little track nails up and out of there. Since everything is glued hard and secured, track isn't going anywhere. This I'm really not going to worry about too much till I figure out what I'm doing. But the crossing tower is just sitting there again. Just sitting there. So these are just, fake lights. If I can get it in focus, kind of fake lights there, goosenecks. So maybe one day down the road, we'll go ahead and put a real LED in there, real LED lamp. But got too much other stuff to do. All right, put some more vegetation and trees and so forth, and stuff in here. Back up a little bit and kind of take a gander at it. So we're coming along. Still got to go back and add more. Not quite enough. And I guess that's it. So, what I did want to tell everybody, and some fleet of cars sitting here, is we reached over 1,000 subscribers. So it took, I started this channel February 27th, if I'm not mistaken. Awesome. So February 27th to August, well, I think I hit the 1,000 on the 16th, a couple days ago. So we went over 1,000 subscribers. I do appreciate every one of you that subscribes. It is awesome. It's way more than I ever expected at this stage of the game. So if you haven't subscribed, that'd be cool if you just join the rest of those 1,000 people that have. Hopefully people are learning something. Hopefully they're getting some ideas for doing something. I'd like to get more comments on how I could do things maybe better, or someone else's method of doing things. So you may see, like how I did the road, somebody might have a complete, or the parking lot there, somebody may have a completely different idea or a way of doing it that works really well for them. So I like to hear that stuff too, and I like to just get 50 billion different ideas going on in my head on how to do things. Alright, so with that, I'm going to leave it alone. My track cleaning project is almost done over in Warren Valley. We're going to get this guy out of the way here. Number 1536 says Alco, and if he doesn't stutter and stall on dirty track and wheels, got to get him out of here. He's going to go over and head toward Warren Valley and stop before he reaches the clean tracks, and then take it apart and all these wheels and stuff clean on that train and on himself as well. Oh, I give it a little herky-jerk start. All right, let's let her go. Look at that. Stalled. We stalled. See? Dirty, dirty, dirty. Yeah, we can sort of get him going again there. Well, maybe not. I just need to get him out of here and over there somewhere. Keep going, buddy. Keep going. I know things are dirty. It's all right. You're going to get a good bass. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming around today. Have a good rest of your week.